It's been a long time since the last Nintendo Direct, and they came back in some pretty big ways. And one of the biggest was the reveal that Linkle, a concept that was only mentioned in the Hyrule Warriors art book, is actually going to be a new playable character in Hyrule Warriors Legends. Who could have seen that coming? Well, the old analysis machine for one, as it spotted that conspicuous crossbow long ago when the game was first revealed. But that's no reason to get cocky, so we're putting the analysis machine to work right away to see what secrets and hidden details we can find in Linkle's reveal trailer. While the first half of the trailer showed nothing new, the second half had all new information about Linkle. And it all begins, appropriately enough, with Linkle opening a chest which contains her warrior outfit and a compass. Before she changes though, we can see that she's dressed like a simple farm girl with a cap. And this makes sense since Linkle hails from an unnamed village that focuses on raising cuckoos. But something has pushed her to action and she goes to leave her home, dressed for battle. It's interesting to see how Linkle's design has changed from the original concept to the finished product. While a lot of it has stayed the same, she also has a few changes, such as her hood, which no longer has a long cap like Link's. It's more of a standard hood. Her twin ponytails are now braided as well, though the ties at the end are the same. And finally, her skirt is now brown rather than the green from the concept art. All of these changes seem designed to give her a little more distance from Link, though she's still unmistakably based on him. But her weapon of choice is a set of twin crossbows rather than the single one that she wielded in the concept art. They're holstered against her boots, which serves to give her immediate access. And as we can see from her fighting style, she's no slouch. Her first attack shows her firing the crossbows both in front of and behind her, and hitting enemies on either side in the process. The second hit fires diagonally to either side, which rounds up the group of enemies into the center. She then hits the group with a twin shot directly in front before a series of shots in a circular pattern. The combo's final normal strike has her spin jump into the air, where she's able to juggle the group of enemies with her shots. It shows that she's extremely agile and, as Bill Trinan said, she's constantly firing in all directions around her to keep enemies at bay. But the finale to the combo is quite intriguing. As she's lining up the final shot, a dart nut on the other side of the group throws its sword at her, but she's not affected. Instead, Linkle shoots twin bombs from her glowing red crossbows, which then explode within the group. A fun touch is her reload animation, where she performs a little hop to reload both crossbows simultaneously. It's a great little detail. The next scene shows her defensive stance and that she protects herself by crossing the crossbows in front of her. And of course, she's able to perform a backflip to get away from enemies, much like Link. She follows this up with a single hit to start the combo, before charging the crossbows with both red and green energy. The initial thrust is with the red one, which not only knocks the Dark Knight away, but still fires a shot to hit the enemies behind. The green bow appears to shoot a blast of wind that juggles the enemies it hits before Linkle finishes the combo with a fiery spin kick. And of course, she has to reload again after the combo. The final special shot she performs shows her charging the crossbows with twin green energy before performing a series of rapid shots while strafing. What's unique about this attack though is how the camera switches to directly behind her back. It makes us wonder if players will be able to manually aim where exactly she shoots. It's intriguing how these special shots light up green and red though. It could be in regards to their elements, or there might be a connection to the goddesses. Maybe she imbues the light of Din and Furore into her weapons. But where's Nehru? Well, around her neck. Before Linkle puts on her fighting clothes, she's wearing no necklace. When she changes, there it is, and the jewel is blue. And there are matching jewels on each crossbow that might react with the one around her neck. Of course, it could just be a coincidence, but perhaps she's able to channel the power of the goddesses through her crossbows. But she doesn't always use these special shots. At one point, a variation of her combo shows her swinging into the middle of a group and kicking them all away before using both crossbows to fire a single bomb into the crowd. And then there's her special attack, which features her balancing on one of the crossbows and using it to spin in place while performing a series of fiery kicks before blasting them all away. It's similar to Link's special, but uniquely Linkle's, both because of the use of her legs and the fact that she stays in one place. Now let's take a closer look at Linkle herself, because the most fascinating things happen during this cutscene, and the fact that she's featured in a cutscene is huge in and of itself. It means she actually has a role in the story and is not just some extra DLC like Young Link or Tingle. What role she'll actually play, we're not sure, though the concept art mentioned that she was like a little sister to Link, though not his actual sister as far as we could tell. But between this and her hairstyle, some have wondered if some of the inspiration for her came from Errol and Wind Waker. But honestly, we don't see much of a connection between the two. The cutscene also reveals that Linkle is not a silent protagonist like Link. We can see her talking to the other villagers, so she's not meant to be just a gender-swapped variation on Link. The developers seem to be working to make her similar but different in key ways. In addition, the villagers are the first example of civilians appearing in Hyrule Warriors. While we didn't see it in the trailer, we do wonder if a new mission will task players with protecting Linkle's village. After all, it seems like the villagers are perhaps trying to stop Linkle from leaving, but she insists and displays her compass, which has the Hylian crest on the back. What the purpose of this compass could be, we have no idea, but we suspect that it might have been a gift from Link. Perhaps he also hailed from this village before going to Hyrule Castle to train to be a knight. Before leaving, he gave this compass to her. Or there could be a completely different reason. In fact, this scene might not even be showing the villagers trying to stop her from leaving. There seems to be a small section missing from this cutscene. Here, Linkle's arms are at her sides, but the very next scene shows her with the compass in hand. There's probably not much missing, but there is something gone and we wonder what it could be. It's also odd that the villager pulls his hand back at almost the exact same moment that Linkle thrusts the compass forward. Is this just a coincidence as he goes to scratch his head, or could there be something more to this item? Linkle is looking to be an awesome addition to Hyrule Warriors Legends, and there seems to be more to her than just another fighter to add to the roster. What other mysteries does she hold? We'll find out as the game nears its March release, but until then, let us know if we missed anything in the comments. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Hyrule Warriors Legends and even more analyses from the Nintendo Direct.